All right, good. We're back again. So I got my bin of blue fabric. I need to find something to make this into a little pillow, and I've got this, which is the same print. And I'm just going to cut a piece big enough to fit on there. Now, I'm going to use this as the pattern. Make life a lot easier. And I'm just going to give this a little press of the iron. And I'm going to take advantage of hopefully a good clean cut on this side. I'll use that as a seam allowance for the finished edge. Close enough. Pin that in place. Let's move this. There we go. Let's pin that. Just going to worry about these three corners because that's where I'm cutting in. Use that as a pattern. Fold that back up again. Because if I don't, I'll put it away on my desk, forget where I put it. Then when I go to look for it, I can't find it. Typical. All right, so it's going back in its bin. Extras. Put that away. All right, so now I'm going to take this little pattern, take the pins out, put right sides together. Now I'm going to pin it. I like these big quilting pins because they grab everything. Now this piece isn't perfectly cut. That's okay. Well, kind of. I got to even this piece out. There. Let's make sure that's covered. Yep, it's not even. Don't panic about that because we can trim that later. I know that my patch that I did, my quilt block, is pretty even to what I want. So I'm going to follow that as a guideline and use the 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is the edge of your foot for most machines. Whatever you do, keep it consistent. If that's what you're going to use, that's what you're going to use. Use it on all your seams. So this one now, I don't need to be as fine a stitch, so I'm going to go back up to a 3 for a stitch length. There we go. And where was, whoa, here we go again. Man, that's fun, isn't it? Typical Mrs. Weiss. See, I'm like this at home too. I really am. Okay. Well, I'm going to start just past the first seam and back stitch. Go straight into the corner. Leave the needle in, pivot. And again, I'm following the patchwork, not the lining. I didn't cut that out too perfectly. And that's okay. Pivot when you get to a corner. Now, no, I'm not there yet. Keep following. Keep following. As long as it's bigger, not smaller, you're good. Pivot. And I'm just going to go right past this hand-sewn seam and give it a back stitch. That's going to be more than enough for me to stuff. Okay. So now I can take my scissors once I remove all my pins and trim this up for turning right side out. First thing I'm going to do is trim the corners at a 45-degree angle, halfway between the corner and the edge. That creates less bulk as you're trying to turn out the corners. And this, I'm just going to trim this down so it's even. See what I mean? No big deal. I can cut this after. All right, right there. As long as it's bigger, not smaller, you're good. All right, scraps in the garbage. And I'm gonna turn this out. Maybe I could have left a little bit bigger opening, but that would mean more hand stitching. And well, you know, if I don't have to do that, I won't. Now, somewhere in there I have a point turner that I'm gonna cheat with a ruler or scissors. These are too sharp. They're gonna cut right in if I had a little bit duller point. These again are too sharp. Sometimes you can poke a scissors up in there. See what I have. Oh, these ones aren't bad. Now see the tip on that? It's not as pointy as this. It will cut right through. So I'm gonna poke that scissors in to the corner and just poke it out. Oh, that did a pretty good job. I'll do this one. Okay. There we go. I'm going to try the ruler on this one. Pop a ruler in and just, this might be a bit too sharp, but we'll see. Well, that did a good job. I still prefer the scissors because, well, there's that. Then I can just poke in there. So I like to press it before I stuff it. I got you there. There we go. Huh. I might get the hang of this yet. All right, so now you can see what we've got. What that also does is it folds this in place, so when you go to sew it, it's already in place, neatly folded. Ooh, we got the steam on now. And you don't have to try and poke the fabric in. And there it is. Stuff it as you please. I'm probably going to use some scraps, shredded fabric from my serger, and hand stitch that close, and you can call it a day. There you go. You got yourself a little pillow or a really big pin cushion, which would be kind of cool. All right, guys, that's it for today.